Guys, it is Tuesday, June 7th, 2022, and I'm going to finally do an update. I have been so buried in this thing in the last couple weeks since I fired it up the first time. I've had issue after issue after issue. Seems like I fix one and I get two or three. But anyway, I have fired it up and it does fire very nicely. It fires up really quick. I guess I can start with the first issue was the throttle valve that came with that John put in. This guy right here. It failed immediately. Obviously, it was an incorrect valve for the purpose because it burned up. So I got a second one. This was an off-the-shelf, supposedly steam-rated valve, and it failed. So it's like, great. Okay, so ordered another one that was high temperature, but when I got it, it was too big. I machined down the ends to fit, and I just couldn't get the barrel of this thing to fit in there. It was too big. It was a good valve, but didn't work, and I was reaching out to many people on the live steam pages and hooked up with a really good guy that's been super helpful. And he actually sent me two extra valves that he had, and I think they will work in case the one that I did purchase fails. But these are 1/8 inch connections, which is actually what John had. These connections here are 1/8, and you can't find off-the-shelf 1/8 inch valves, just 1/4 inch, so you have to get a reducer. But these are 1/8 inch, so that's kind of cool. But I did get, I ordered one from McMaster, and they sent it out. Got it in yesterday, and that's kind of basically what the smoke box is looking like. And this supply line from the dry pipe supplies, I don't know if you can see it, but it's way back in there behind the blower line. But this line runs up here, and this is a biatch to try to get in there with hands, because you can't take the smoke box off. But I finally got that thing connected. Didn't break the connections for the cylinders, because I don't know how I'd ever get in there if those broke. But got the valve in this morning. I got the throttle connection hooked up, and seems like it's gonna work. So I gotta wait for some ceramic fabric to insulate this valve. I'll be wrapping it that, kind of protect it from the heat, because this smoke box gets pretty hot. So that's got to be done before I can fire it up. I don't want to fail that valve too. But I've been fighting with this injector for probably the last almost a week, going back and forth with conversations online. But I think what we've determined, that the injector works, but what's happening, I think, is got a check valve here that was leaking on this side, and if it takes steam back into it, if you get this hot and steam is leaking from that, it comes back into the injector, and injectors are finicky at best. But I've replumbed this 4 times, and hopefully this is the last one. Won't be able to test it until I can fire it up. But what I did is I replaced this valve. I got an extra valve from Local Parts a while back, and I put that on. And I think that may correct the problem, but again, I won't know till I fire it up. Can't fire it up until I get my ceramic cloth. So that is what I've been fighting with. Got everything here that, you know, the throttle works. Oops. I was running on an air this morning, and it seems like it's going to work properly. I put a couple extra notches in this reverse quadrant this morning, just so you can hook it up, you know, full forward, and then you can notch it back until you hit the neutral, and then of course reverse. But did that. Okay, and then once I get the throttle corrected, the injector working properly, then I've got to go with the crosshead pumps, which I've had issues with these guys. I've replumbed it with 2 purge valves to be able to prime these pumps. I guess you have to be able to prime them. So what I did is I had to cut in a purge valve right here so that we can open that up and hook up a vacuum pump to help, you know, get water into these lines and prime them, and then of course you shut the valve off and disconnect it. And the 2 crosshead pumps are isolated. They're totally separate systems. And the other one on this side, it's a little different, but we have the this is the supply to the boiler check, and then the bypass cuts in right here, and here's my valve to purge it. I would hook the vacuum pump right here, purge it, and shut it off. But this is the bypass line. It runs up underneath, right back up in here, comes up around the sight glass valve up to a valve in the cab. And what happens is, if this is closed, then this line is totally isolated, and all the water from the supply line right here, which is, this would be coming from the tender, would come up to the crosshead pump, and as the pump is working, then it would pump water up into the boiler. And those crosshead pumps are always working, so that water's got to go somewhere if you don't want it in the boiler. So if you want to turn that off, that's where this valve comes in. Then you open this, and what happens is the water will run back through the bypass up here, and then this goes down to a T right in there, and returns the water back into the tender supply line. So in theory, that's how that works. So far I haven't been able to test that either, and that's my third issue. And if I finally get all that stuff taken care of, then I get to work with the brakes, because I'm not getting a full vacuum on my brakes. I'm only getting 5 pounds. So I'm gonna have to address that issue, because you got to be able to stop. But that's really what I've been fighting with for the last pretty much week. And my tender trucks are done. Tim Parks has picked them up from Northern Oregon, and he's going to be bringing them down next week. And we're going to see if we can run some problems on this thing. He's going to work with me on that. But the tender still is like that. I'm going to start prepping that for painting. When I get this, you know, I'll be getting the trucks and be able to place that on there. But I've got to get this thing all painted. I've decided not to paint the trucks because Russ, that did the machining on the trucks, did such a fantastic job. I'm not even going to paint them. He painted them black, and they just look amazing. Can't wait to see what it's going to look like when tender's done. But I think I'm going to go ahead and prep it for painting, and that way once it's painted I can apply my wood and get that all taken care of and get the tender all looking nice. But that's what I've been doing, guys, for a while. So stay tuned, and hopefully we'll get these issues worked out and we can get it running. I doubt very seriously if this is going to be done by the triennial. I just don't see it happening. I am going to try to get it done before Claude gets up here, but I just don't know. If the Steam gods are willing, it will be running by the time Claude gets up here. But if not, he'll get to see it anyway. So that's the update, guys, and I will talk to you later, and thanks for watching.